Evening. It is late in the evening, but something's just come up on a Facebook, Jehovah's Witness Facebook site, in relation to Mark O'Donnell. Now, everybody's been saying it. Anybody who watches Lloyd's videos knows who Mark O'Donnell is. He's a guy I've seen in America who spends an awful lot of his time going into court and listening to the testimonies of child sex abuse survivors, basically taking the Watchtower to court. And he spends a lot of time and a lot of his own personal money making sure that all these cases are reported, not just in the locale where they happen, but to a greater audience. And he does this as part of the JWWatch and also onto Lloyd Evans channel. And everybody's been asking over the past few weeks, what's Mark O'Donnell saying about what's been happening really recently with the question of Lloyd Evans and his prostitution. Finally, Mark O'Donnell has released a statement apparently on his Twitter account. It's on a PDF, which means I can't unfortunately share it, so I'm going to have to read it to you. But anyway, this is for all those out there who are still excusing Lloyd Evans, who do not think that there is a connection between him using prostitutes and child sex abuse. All those who have been apologising for Lloyd and his actions, saying what he does with his own money, which is donated by people, for him to bring out the wrongs in the Watchtower organisation in relation especially to child sex abuse. All those who've been making excuses for Lloyd Evans. Now this is Mark O'Donnell. He knows Lloyd Evans better than any of us. He's worked closely along with him, for a number of years now. He's appeared in many of his videos. So if anybody has a statement to make, an opinion in relation to Lloyd Evans, this is the man we should listen to. And if after I read this statement you still have it in your mind, in your heart, that what Lloyd has done is his own business and it's nothing wrong, and if you want to use prostitutes, that shouldn't, there's not a problem with that, I suggest you look yourself in the mirror and give yourself a slap in the face. Anyway, public statement of Mark O'Donnell, which is I just read this now and apparently got released an hour ago. It has come to my attention that on Monday, January the 30th, 2022, a Reddit statement by resigns JWWatch operations director Kim Sylvia was posted concerning the activities and conduct of JWWatch/JW Survey founder Lloyd Evans. Following that statement, a monetised video, and he's underlined this, monetised video, so in other words, the statement that Lloyd's about to make earned him money. So by him going on saying, oh, this is what really, yes, this is, blame little Lloyd, blame Kim Sylvia, blame my wife being a poor shag, blame my Jehovah's Witness repressed upbringing. He was, bizarrely, Lloyd Evans was still making money. And I think at the end of the day, it's all about this. So anyway, following that statement, a monetised video was released by Lloyd Evans, in which he addressed some of the claims made by Miss Sylvia, who described a private conversation he had with Mr. Evans and one additional person. The livestream video was replete with expletives and references to alleged sexual contact with prostitutes. Evans declared, it's not even Lloyd, my mate Lloyd, Evans declared in strong language that his infidelities were not, we've heard this a lot, that his infidelities were not the business of his patrons or the public, stating that how he used donated and other funds is beyond scrutiny. Now this is really powerful, this next line. I strongly denounce the use of any finances for purposes that create a notable conflict of interest for any reporter covering the sensitive topic of child sex abuse. Thank God. somebody's coming out and saying this and has been directly involved with it has actually come out and denounced what's happened here. We've all been saying it, but nobody's been paying attention, and finally Mark O'Donnell says it. In my opinion, the links between sex work and the grooming of children, child abuse, violent crime, drugs and other unlawful activities call into question the credibility of anyone reporting on the subject of child abuse, which is what I've been saying from day one, that Lloyd's credibility is out the window, that he's compromised and can no longer deal with subjects such as child abuse, which come up regularly in the Watchtower because of the whole case of, look what you've done, Lloyd. You are a hypocrite if you ever talk about this again. I am also sensitive to the feelings of survivors of abuse who trust my integrity and work. Many of these survivors have conservative values and ethics, and I respect their positions. Most news organisations have a code of ethics for reporting and for the conduct of journalists themselves. For example, National Public Radio, NPR, recognises the importance of giving weight to the scruples of its patrons by reminding the public that perception does influence credibility and that reporters have limitations. To secure the public's trust, we must make it clear that this is the NPR's wording here, which he quotes. To secure the public's trust, we must make it clear that our primary allegiance is to the public. Any personal or professional interest that conflict with that allegiance, whether in appearance or in reality, risk compromising our credibility. We enjoy the right to robust personal lives, yet we accept some unique professional obligations and limitations because our words and actions can damage the public's opinion of NPR. We comport ourselves in ways that honour our professional impartiality, NPR. So, Mark goes on to quickly end this. As a result of Mr. Evans' statements, he has resigned from affiliation with Lloyd Evans, so that is it. He's totally distanced himself now from Lloyd Evans, and JWWatch, effective February the 1st, 2022. I will always be thankful for the information I have shared on Lloyd's website and channel, and I know that those who follow my work respect the long hours and resources I have personally devoted to this endeavour. My work remains unchanged. Then he goes for a few facts of clarification, just to make sure that he wasn't aware of what was going on all along. Neither myself nor my wife Kimberly O'Donnell had any knowledge of these issues until January the 30th, when this was made public by Kim Silvio. Miss Silvio released information ahead of her statement to persons not associated with JWWatch and without the knowledge or consent of Lloyd Evans or his wife. Miss Evans had no knowledge of advance notice of the public statement by Kim Silvio. I was not funded or employed by Evans JW Survey or JWWatch. My work has been supported by my own personal savings. Aside from my resignation, I have no personal contact with Lloyd Evans for several months, and I've received no apology related to his conduct and its impact on those connected with JWWatch or the general public. I've had absolutely no contact with Kim Silvio or producer Bob in any matters relating to this issue, either directly or indirectly, and certain additional allegations against Mr. Evans have surfaced since January 30th that are false and uncorroborated, and of course great distress to Mr. Evans' immediate family. I condemn any claims that were made malicious or slanderous intent without substantiation. What he then goes to do, he has a few references which can be clicked on, but he has references and then 2 web links. Interestingly, he then has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 web links and articles, and they are under the headline of links and articles related to child abuse and prostitution. And that's exactly what I've been saying for a long time now, by saying it doesn't matter that Lloyd Evans has said they look like 20. I've always said, when did they start in this business, and the direct connection between child abuse and prostitution, And Lloyd Evans, as a man who's supposed to be sticking up for the rights of these children, is a man who's now compromised and can't talk about it any longer. And finally, somebody who's connected to this issue and has spent a considerable time doing this, which is Mark O'Donnell. He's confirmed by this public statement what I've been saying for a long time now, which a lot of people have either been agreeing with me or completely disagreeing with me, but by saying what Lloyd does in his own time with this money is just his business. It isn't his business, and Mark O'Donnell hammers this point home. So at the end of the day, I'm sorry, there should be no more room out there for any Lloyd Evans apologists to say that what he's doing is his own business. It's between two consenting adults, and what he does with his money in his private time, it's up to him, and it's between him and his family. It isn't, and Mark O'Donnell absolutely nails this on the head. So there's no more excuses, and I don't see how anybody now who've previously watched Evans's channel can go back to watching Evans's channel, because Mark O'Donnell, one of his main associates in the product on the channel, has left because he doesn't want to have anything to do with Lloyd Evans. And anybody else who has a conscience, has any sort of moral barometer, shouldn't be supporting Evans anymore, should actually cut their ties with him when it is being a patron of his, and should really show this guy the door, because he has let so many people down. I'm sure Mark O'Donnell personally feels let down over the issues recently. It's a serious thing, there's no joking in it, it's quite serious. This is the serious point that Mark O'Donnell finally brings out. I'm glad he's done this statement. I'm glad he never all of a sudden turned around and says, yes, I can still continue with working Lloyd Evans. Clearly he can't, for the reasons that he's given. Anyway, that's it. Yeah, I've got nothing more to say. Thank you, Mark O'Donnell, for finally, bringing this out, because we've all been waiting for Mark O'Donnell to make a statement, and he's done this. It's up to you now. It's up to everybody out there to decide which way they want to go. But if you can still continue to support Lloyd Evans financially, or just by watching his videos, so he's monetizing his videos, getting money every time you watch them, I've got nothing more to say to you, actually. That's it. Bye.